So, hi everybody and welcome back to the C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 169, and in this video I announce our practical exercise. It's a very short exercise because we are reusing code what we already created. We created in one of our exercises a login account. And what we do is, and I have opened up my login account here, which I saved in a file. In my case, I just saved it here in this, right, where you can see here's a resource file. I made here this login account text. I don't have to use text, but I used here a text. Normally I can use other things as well. And here I saved this login account. From here I just copied it in my CPP file here. And when I started, you can see that was this login account which we created. It was a very simple one. And yes, that's it. And of course you can extend this, but what I want is for this exercise that we reuse this code, which means we are not starting to code all these things again. You should reuse it because that means you use your experience, you know all this kind of stuff. And our job is now to create a class instead using this version what we have here. You can see this version of programming is not a class-based programming. This is more like a iterative programming, which means you are just going here to the main and then you start here a call, and this one calls a function. For example, this login account here. This login account, we can go here to definition, is doing what you can see. It executes here this lines here, and then it calls another function and then another function. And yeah, this one is more function driven than class uses. And I want that we want to convert this one now to a class so that we have just a class. It's not difficult because what you have to do is just get your code what you already did in one of our exercises, which is our login account, and put it in a class and make it usable with a class, so that when we call the class object, that the exact same thing should happen here. We call the class object and it should ask a username, a password, and then when all things is right, it should set account login, and we proceed then from this main to the next task. We simulate something with our login account. So that's a very simple. So I make this a very simple exercise, so that because we have not finished talking about class is a very big topic. We have to talk much about it, but we have also practice programming, or you will not able to program this class even we talk so much about it. So this is your job. And if you have no login account for whatever reason, then you can there are different ways to make it. You can just create a login account from scratch. This is also a very nice exercise for you. So you repeat all that what you know, but this time try to create all in a class. And the difference is here, you can see the difference is here in this version, all the code what we have is more or less scattered around in my main file. We have here functions, and we have all these variables, global variables, which are all time bad. I should put this one in namespace, but I don't know, perhaps I have not introduced the namespaces there. And that's why they are all global, which is all the time bad. Yes, and try to use new things what we learned as well. Probably when you are reusing code and we have not talked about namespaces, then we made probably bad coding like I did here, not putting them into a namespace and using here global variables. But yeah, keep this in mind. And our job is to create a class now. And you can if these variables are already in a class, then they are more encapsulated already because we are using the class, and then they are class members. And then we have no problem with this global variable namespaces here. And all the code which belongs to login account is also in a class, which means it's related to one class. And we know these are all things which are belonging here to login account instead of having all here, because if I would go on here with my function, which means after login account, let's say I'm in my account, and in my account I have now other functionality, like let's say check out your inventory or something like that. Let's say our inventory system. This code would be then here also, right? It would be here anywhere, and then variables anywhere, if I make that, and functions anywhere. And this can cause, yeah, this you can see the code is then mixed up with other things. That's why we use classes, because we want all the related code together. And this exercise should train you this a little bit more, that so you can see that this login account, what we made here, it's better to put in a class, because later we can then, if you put this in a class, just use it in other projects. Like here, you can see here is a string, right? This string, like I said, it's just a class. They just included this one, and then they can use it. And the same thing we will do too when you put all this code here now in a login account class. Then we can do later something like that. We can include it in other files, this login account class, and use it. And that's our goal, and that's why it's very important that you do this. So this is not a very difficult exercise. I think you have just to convert it into a class as good as you can, and test it if you can call this class, and the result should be the same like here, like this one. It should be the same like login account. It's when we call the object, when you created a variable and the variable is called, and it should be do something like that, right? That is so our goal. And if it fails, of course, then it should go again, ask till. If you can make here a breakup after 3. I think I have not here a breakup, but that's not so important right now. And yeah, with that said, I stop here. Try this exercise. I know we have the topic class is really big, really super big, and we have to learn much, but still I think you can do this without using all the other features of a class, because that will take anyway time to get all through. And practice is very important. This is anyway a practical video. We should make more practice, I think, so that you get exercises too. So I hope you will do it, and I wish you good luck. And with that said, if you have any questions, any complaints, like all time, write it in the comments, and don't forget, have fun and never give up. Bye.